أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفينا وتشفي مرضانا وترحمنا وترحم موتانا وتشفي صدور قوم المؤمنين. نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفينا. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفي أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفي أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفي أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفي أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم نسألك يا عظيم يا رب العرش العظيم أن تشفي أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. رب الناس اذهب البأس أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك لا يغادر سقما. ربنا إن مسنا الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. ربنا إن مسنا الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا واصلح ذات بيننا واخرجنا من الظلمات إلى النور. أعوذ بالله بقدرته من شر ما أجد وأحاذر. 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 This is continuing down the path of medical literature, simply reading through it for legacy purposes, sadaqah jariyah. It's something that may be a benefit to myself and others, either today or in the future, inshallah ta'ala. And this is continuing the work of reflections on faith and life and what I had called summary and notes, discussions and commentary on different types of wealths of knowledge. Alhamdulillah. This states terminology is used in the book. It follows that in this edition of medical text, it speaks about the foundations of different types of medicine, whether it is the concept of the garden as a body or the machine as a body. As in those books, this author has opted for translating medical terms regarding yin and yang and qi and hun in a certain way as a unit of measurement. They have continued to use certain types of capital letters for terms which are specific to what is considered medicine of Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, Vietnamese medicine, Southeast Asian medicine, Indian, Pakistani, those types of medicines that are found that may have a different approach to healing and strength. And I've read from Between the Heaven and Earth, or Between Heaven and Earth, which is a conceptual philosophical book. This is more of a detailed book on the systems within these types of conversations. And there is no exact translation, and that's why a lot of the original texts also appear in different libraries. The concept of yin and yang is probably the single most important and distinctive theory of Chinese medicine. It could be said that all of Chinese medical physiology, pathology, and certain types of ailments and treatments can be reduced to understanding what some people call homeostasis, balance, finding shifa, finding healing through a moderate path to structural and functional, nutritional, and physical activity. In this case, yin and yang is a type of pattern that finds balance. One can understand through opposites or on a rational level And however, in different types of environments, you'll find different types of expressions of clinical practice and indeed how life and living organisms respond to these medical treatments. In general, Western logic is based upon opposition of contraries, which is the fundamental premise of Aristotelian logic. According to this logic, a pair of contraries, such as the table is square and the table is not square, cannot be both true. This approach has dominated Western thought for several thousand years. The Chinese concept of yin and yang is different from these systems or this approach to medicine. Yin and yang represents opposite, however complementary qualities. Each measured item, phenomenon, or medical occurrence can both be itself and the contrary. Just like we say hot and cold, we say top and bottom, right and left. And so these understandings can occur within the same entity at the same time. That means a part of our body may be cold while another part is hot, in and out, fire and water, redness and paleness. So they can occur simultaneously. And what it's doing here is measuring the patterns in different environments and finding balance in each environment and each personality or personhood. So this states the discussion of yin and yang will be developed in this conversation based on historical occurrences. The concepts, which are yin and yang, are two phases within a cyclical movement. Yin and yang are two states of density of matter. There are four aspects of yin and yang relationships: the opposition of yin and yang, the interdependence of yin and yang, the consuming of one another, and the intertransformation. So, for example, in body structures, we have both a back and a front. We have a head and a body. We have an exterior and an interior. We have above the waist and below the waist. We have posterior, lateral, and we have anterior and medial. We have yin and yang organs. That means some function to bring energy and some function to bring relaxation, some function to consume material and some function to extract material from our body. Then we speak about function and structure, which means physiology and anatomy. So there are two distinctive qualities. One is structural and one is functional. There are chemicals in our body and there are actual physical items that are tangible and some are less tangible. There's chi and blood, which is life force, and that which distributes life force, which may be considered as everything it takes to be alive. There's defensive chi, which may be considered white blood cells, or nutritive chi, which are those cells that distribute food and medicine or other types of liquids and so on. The application of the four principles of yin and yang to medicine. Opposition of yin and yang is considered fire and water, cold and heat, paleness and redness, quiet and restlessness, wetness and dryness, softness and hardness, inhibition and excitement, slowness and rapidity or rapid movement, non-substantial and substantial. And then this one has a sequence of items which starts with sustainment, storage, conservation, change, and transformation. That means those four items are balancing one another. That means transformation may occur, change and conservation may occur, storage and sustainment may occur, depending on the bodily system or the environment or the type of physiological or anatomical occurrence that happens. The interdependence of yin and yang are speaking about yin and yang organs. That means our body is one system, although they have different interdependent functionalities: the heart, the mind, the nervous system, the spine, Babinski reflexes. There are certain reflexes that are developing in our body throughout our lifetime, and that may change the type of interdependence we find in different structural or functional organs throughout our life. The mutual consuming of yin and yang, That means there can be excess, there can be deficiency, there can be consumption, and there can be long-term balance. Intertransformation of yin and yang. The earliest reference to yin and yang is probably in one of the books named Book of Changes, Yi Jin, dating back to about 1,000 before the appearance of Jesus Christ. In this book, yin and yang are represented by broken and unbroken lines. Yin is broken and yang is continuous. The combination of broken and unbroken lines in pairs, it begins to set diagram representing utmost yin, utmost yang, and two intermediate stages. One line of these diagrams, and I won't speak about the diagrams, but it speaks about the philosophical schools that developed on the theories in the highest degrees, speaking about the naturalist school. Many of the schools arose throughout that period and began to teach the naturalist school because it is a positive way to understand natural laws to man's advantage, not through attempting to control and subdue nature, as most of modern Western science may find itself categorized into, but acting in harmony with its laws. This school represents a form in which a person called a naturalist may have adopted some of the theories of yin and yang and some of the five elements served to interpret natural phenomena, including human body and health, diseases. I'm careful about generalizing because at this point in our human development, all of the sciences are combined. That means Western and Eastern sciences have really merged in a way that's unheard of before. There are several unifying themes, even if there are divergent practices or approaches. In most Western science, they would speak about performance medicine as really being in line with most of what Eastern medicine has spoke about for some time. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا يا فوز المستغفرين. سلام. Peace.